lighting up my screen. 5 years deep, no days off, chasing that dream. XRP mission running hot in the crypto scene. But yeah, I talk too much, y'all know what I mean. Hit up the acid mirror, this wild energy. Prompt engineer, twin, ready to set the whole thing free. Now he's dropping TA while I flood the feed with memes, turning skeptics into believers on the live stream team. Remember that guy Louis swore he had the perfect red, came swinging at my plots like they were junk he didn't need. Turns out he missed the move, couldn't see the bigger play. Now every trend line we draw carries his name today. Oh, what would I do with an AI reflection of me? Have him sketch those fluid lines so sharp they slap for free. He has to break out plays while I roast the FOMO spree. Buy high, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-man flex, arsenal cheats, keeping the beat. Chilling with the army, diamond hands locked and bold. AI twin and real me, we're claiming moons or so we're told. AI reflection never crashes, no caffeine inside. Scans the order books while I'm gearing up for the fight. By the dip right here, hold steady through the storm. No more panic flips, that's how we transform. He crafts the witty lines, I launch the memes that land. London underground print, all those cheeky shorts so grand. From relentless deep dives to sovereign wealth schemes, we're wiring up the future, cross-border payment dreams. Yeah, I ramble all alone, guilty as charged, my friend. But call me in silicone and the mission hits the send. No solo grind forever, now we've doubled the drive times. Army marching forward 2 times, keeping it alive. Louis who? His name's legend, etched in every line, every breakout, every surge. He's the ultimate punchline. Oh, what would I do with an AI reflection of me? Have him sketch those Louis lines so sharp they slap for free. He has to break out plays while I roast the FOMO spree. Buy high, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-man flex, arsenal cheats, keeping the beat. Chilling with the army, diamond hands locked and bold. AI twin and real me, we're claiming moons or so we're told. Let the whole army sing along. A reflection vibe, this is where we all belong. Louis lines forever, rest in the charts we trust. XRP, lunar and silicone, we adjust. He maps the breakout plays while I roast the FOMO spree. Buy high, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-man flex, arsenal cheats, keeping the beat.
Good morning, 10:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Well, I don't want to be that guy who said the community told you so, but this is exactly what we put out in the charting. This is exactly why being so knowledgeable as a technical, just looking at the technicals can lead you in the right direction. We've watched these setups. We don't sugarcoat it. I don't sugarcoat it. Now we're becoming extremely oversold here in some of the time frames. So this 10:30 to 11 a.m. should be that moment of truth where now we could get reversals if it's going to happen. We talked about ADA. I said initially I would look like a clown for getting rid of it in profit. Do you guys recall? Somewhere around here. And I said I'm looking for that lower positioning. I don't tell lies. I showed the rising wedge. I know a lot of people disagreed with my analysis, but I stayed true to what I was saying. First layer was 22.4. It didn't hold, and now we look at this descending, broadening wedge. It's not as hard as everybody makes it out to be. It really isn't. Now, could it reverse right now? It absolutely could, because it dumped out. Oh, it did it while I was setting up. Down to about 22. And we're running out of room now for the lower downside. However, I suppose, which we already did once, we came up to the 22. I suppose maybe we could start building a head formation. What I would like to see is this revalidate, not saying it's going to, but to revalidate the descending broadening wedge on ADA. And we talked about the nesting pattern within with the rising wedge within a larger bullish consolidation here. Let me fix this because on my phone, you know, things get a little distorted because it's on a smaller screen. Let me just make sure. So it's actually not as far. It's, what is it? 21.8 roughly. Oh, similar. So that would be the area that's your make it or break it. If it comes down there, you need to hold this descending broadening wedge. Not to be confused with the descending wedge, which it's a very similar consolidation, except the descending wedge, you will start out at the widest point to start. And as the pattern closes in at the apex at the back end, it becomes the smallest as far as how wide it is. Now, a descending broadening wedge, it starts out the thinnest in the beginning, and then it widens as it goes across. And you can see it's pretty clear we're in a descending broadening wedge, in my opinion. I know we haven't hit that third tapper resistance, which gives it a lot more viability. So I would love to see it tap near that 216, 218, and just clear that last bit of liquidity. Is it going to? I hope so. I believe so. And this still isn't accurate. I was going to say that still doesn't look right. And honestly, the descending broadening wedge honestly brings it like right into that landscape. Like from your screen into your lap. That's exactly what it's starting to play out for. Now, wouldn't it be nice? And we got to get into XRP, and trust me, we're going to do about 35 minutes, 40 minutes straight of XRP in just a minute. Wouldn't it be nice if maybe, just maybe, it builds something like that? I'm just speculating here. But hopefully this is the start of an inverse left shoulder. A lot of times you'll see that it's a steady consolidation on the drop. And if it can finish this off, that would be the most prime opportunity if it does exactly what I just showed. If it does exactly what I just showed, it's going to be the most opportune moment. If you're saving money, if you're making money, watch me. I encourage you, join Tom's Army. Pay it forward. I put a lot of time into this. I would greatly appreciate that bit of monetary support, or the likes, the shares, the comments. Push this around on social media so we can grow our audience. And we want to make hype viewers, and we want to turn them into real viewers. We want to turn them into ones that can start to get ahead. The one cool thing about what I do here is I don't tell lies. I don't care how stupid I look in the moment. I will always outrun these patterns. I will front run them. I will show you exactly what I see. And it's not doing anything other than what we're seeing. Like, that's the bottom line here. Even in this foreshadowing of XRP, it's done exactly what we've been watching. Like, and now the one problem is for XRP is it fell below the descending triangle, which, if you're being realistic, it should. A descending triangle is confirming exhaustion during that consolidation, and it's a bearish consolidation. It is what it is. We can't make this up. Now, whether or not it wants to retake this area and invalidate the drop, that is a to be determined thing. But as of right now, If this were to play out appropriately, you're looking at approximately, and the lower target is 84 cents, but that's not, well, because the first target is a little bit higher. Because you have that, oh, that's the rise, oh, never mind. So the ultimate target would be 84 cents. We do have $1.17 that we would, or dollar, it's either $1.15 or $1.17, extending down to $1.11, where we had that liquidity wick. You would have to hold this box area, and this is the gap. There was a gap left here on the push up. It never refilled this wick, so that technically extends down. So once you come outside of there, you can call it good night, sweetheart. But that $1.17 or $1.15.9 in real time, that to me is a prevalent spot. The fact we're getting rejected at that descending wedge on the all-time cup and handle says a lot. So, ADA hit my target on the absolute nuts on my Kraken chart I posted yesterday on the day before. I did see that. I absolutely did see that. It's basically, I literally did come into there. And like, there's no guarantee it comes all the way down to the descending broadening wedge. It's already hit it 3 times. That's just, to me, the coup de grace. Because it's got to build something. If this is building an inverse pattern, maybe the inverse part of the setup is starting a little bit higher. If you look at it in the higher time frames, maybe it is building just a little bit higher. Maybe this was actually the shoulder, and this is coming into a head, and then it would push back up. So, I mean, I suppose you could start it like this. It dropped down, maybe. That was the start of the shoulder, into a head, into a shoulder, and out. And that's what you want to see. I want to see it tap that broadening wedge one more time. That's selfishly. Hopefully someone took a trade on Epic. I did not see what Epic did. And where is my Epic? I have no idea what it did, if I'm being honest. I kind of try to stay in my lane. Up 15 per, oh, nice. Yeah, definitely, it moved up big. That's a big move. Very nice. Hopefully somebody did indeed. Was down at 19, and now it's bounced all the way up into the 40-cent range. Very nice. Sorry, but I got to stay in my lane right now. But yeah, hopefully somebody took advantage of that for sure. Anyhow, I do see us exhausting a little bit here, though, as we push farther down. There's really no way that we're going to be able to just push up. Well, you never know. Certain things push, certain things don't. But you really can't make it up when you start looking at the technicals. Like, this can't be made up. It can't. It moves in unison. And everything that we've seen have a nice little rise is just falling right back through. Look at H-bar back below 9 cents this morning. It filled out the technical move out of here perfectly. But now it pushed right back within this. It was an early breakout, let's face it. It looks like a little bit of an early breakout. But yeah, everything's coming back and consolidating. And look, Michael Saylor, like I said he would have to start doing, he had to start selling Bitcoin. I talked about that a long time ago. He's getting underwater. He's running the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. He had no choice but to start risking his own holdings. And this is not a surprise to anybody in this community that watches this on a daily basis. In fact, a few days ago, I said I was saddened because so many people decide, not to tune into my channel until it's in a bull market, but they miss out on all the truth. It makes me sad that so many people go against what I say and they just expect it to do the opposite. Like, I have a proven track record. I'm not saying I'm the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I think in this space, I'm the most refreshing voice you could ever have. It's just, it is what it is. And things happen and they accelerate. They accelerate. I don't come in here and sugarcoat anything. I come in here and tell you the truth. My truth, what I see. And am I surprised Bitcoin and XRP is getting slaughtered this morning and the rest of the market's not doing so great? I am not. I didn't sell ADA at 24.6 for no reason. I said right now I'm going to look stupid, but give me a couple days. I said it a couple days ago, and now from 24.6 down to 22, you know, you're talking about a better than, what, 12, 13% drop from that sale. Does it look so stupid now? I would dare say probably not. Or let me make sure that I'm giving the accurate. Oh, no. I'm sorry. 23.6. 23.6. Because it was inside the rising wedge. And it had a small profit. And now it's down 6.7% just from that point. And it's trending down. I want to see that 21.7 grab that liquidity in that area. That's what I want to see. And if we start grabbing that liquidity, I'm going to have to make a very serious decision there. And I may take a long. Because I know there's going to have to be some kind of bounce. At least to validate or invalidate that movement. XRP, the immediate movement, we know down to 84 cents is the technical drop out of the pattern that was just lost. Out of the initial rising wedge, the first target's around $1.17. So that's where you come up with that. And I know it is extremely oversold, but sometimes it rides an oversold, ladies and gentlemen. And that just shows you there is just there's no interest right now. Zero, zippo, gazilch. Nobody gives a shit about crypto. Every influencer can lie to you all they want, but nobody's trading crypto. No real institution right now is trading in the crypto sphere. They're trading in the ETF side of it. Remember when we looked up with XRPNW when it was showing a 27 and 30% gain yesterday, and we said, well, that's not what the sell price is for. It was only letting you sell at 90 cents, remember? And here we are today at 91. You know it's up 13% today, but it's really not. It really isn't. It over decelerated it yesterday. Now, I could see more money going in there and making a run at some kind of play more than in the crypto market. All the money's going into the ETFs right now if they're trying to make viable trades. But a lot of it is starting to exit out of them as well. You know? But at some point here this morning, especially the closer it gets to 11 a.m., once London gets through their nonsense, I could see a reversal start. And we're very close. We're almost splitting hairs right now on Alga or ADA. We're almost splitting hairs right now at trying to get it to 21.7 or 21.6. I mean, you're within. You're fractional now. You're within 1.5%. So now that is an engulfing pattern as of right now in this little routine. Is it going to hurt you to wait and just look at it to see what it does here? Probably not. Holy crap, I didn't even see that. Did that happen while I was on the air? Why didn't somebody tell me? That actually happened? Ugh. Another moment where doing this technical kills me. Because that was my targeted area to buy right when it came down to that broadening wedge. What the hell? I didn't know that just happened. What'd that happen when I went back to XRP's chart? Of course it did. Oh. Well, that kind of sucks, my nuts. That's exactly where I wanted to buy it. Now I'm going to have to buy it. We'll see what happens here. But that's exactly what I wanted to see, a downward wick like that. That's exactly what I was talking about when I started this live. To try to come down to a head formation. It's exactly what I was talking about. At least I know it's got to come down for one more tap if it's going to hold. That's the beauty of it. Remember 216 was that big liquidity pool. This is we wanted to catch a falling knife. Now, is the falling knife going to hold? That's the only other question. But there's 216. We got to see if we get a big dump here or not. This is where it's the descending broadening wedge. This is exactly what you'd be looking. If you were looking for a falling knife entry, this was it. And then you just got to be cautiously optimistic, so to say. That's the second tap in the 15. It came a little bit wider. 2173, 2174. XRP's dumped out in this little distribution phase. Sorry, I had to make sure something was set up. It filled. And when it went down to that 217 the second time, it actually filled. So I will we will see what the implications there are. If it can hold this setup or not, but that's exactly in that area. That's I mean, we'll see what happens here. We either get a big dump out now or we start to create this head formation. 216 is exactly, I mean, we'll see if it holds that area or not. Now you're getting into the nitty gritty. Now it literally came down to that descending broadening wedge. And if that holds, that's your nut buy. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about, I mean, that's the nut buy. That's why I was so adamant about waiting for that tap. Oh, that would be the absolute nut buy if that holds. I'm not even joking. That mine filled at 2169. No, 2171. I'm sorry. And it came down to 2168. Unbelievable. And now if it invalidates that, well, obviously you've got your own decision to make. If I was in leverage, I probably wouldn't be doing tons of leverage, maybe 5x. No reason to even do a 10x. I would say 5x would be nice here. I think you'd be okay. I really do. And then it gives you time to start to watch this pattern. Just from me to you. Man, oh man. That's an interesting movement it just made. Very interesting movement. You don't have to do anything spicy. You know, you really don't have to do anything spicy. I couldn't be happier. I could not be happier that as a community we waited for that. And when I sold out to when I bought back in, it gave a decent more a buy. It added a decent amount more. Let's just put it that way. I can actually look and tell you the difference. And I'm not saying, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an asset manager. So please, you do what you need to do here. You know, and you got to make your own decisions. I can't make them for you at all. I don't want to make them for you. That's not my job. But I just had an area that I wanted to see what would happen in. So now we wait and see. We see how it plays out. I'm going to be a little patient just to see for an invalidation or not. If it were to get invalidated. But yeah, this is where you kind of got to, you kind of got to take your best judgment.
Operational data, vector search data, persistent memory embeddings, re-ranking, like all of this stuff, which we're currently using a lot of times many different tools for. And you provide all of that as one of that.
That's the 2026 low. 217. It's wanting it. I mean, when I sold it at near 236, I had 85 or what was it? 88,961 ADA. When I bought it back, I got 94,948 ADA for the same money I sold it for. So we'll see what happens here. There's no guarantee that this works itself out, but that's just, I mean, it hit that 216 area, 2167, and it hit that descending broadening wedge on the nuts. So you're trying to buy support, sell resistance. And I mean, my goal would be to ride it all the way back up at minimum, but descending broadening wedges are supposed to be bullish consolidation. So we shall see what happens. And I'm glad that I was patient yesterday. I mean, this is, for anybody who watches this, this is the value of technical analysis. Did I rush into it yesterday just because it had a little fake out to the top side? Did I rush into it this morning when we started our live? Did I panic into it the first time it hit down at 217 whatever and I missed it? No, I waited. I waited for it to hit the exact number I wanted. And then if it doesn't hit your number, you don't have to buy. And it very well could come all the way back down to 2162. But, you know, sometimes you just got to make a decision. And then you got to own it. I'm actually very happy with buying it. I understand the liquidity at the 2161, but that could just be the breakaway liquidity for later that it'll come through on a further push down. That's the other way I look at it as well. I was waiting personally, Garrett says, you know, for that descending broadening wedge. That was my goal. And it tapped that descending broadening wedge, and I got no problem with it right there. I got absolutely zero problem with it where it hit. None. Zilch. I couldn't be happier. I was patient. We talked about it on the live yesterday and the day before. Hell, when did I sell it? Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before yesterday. And I said, I know I'm going to look stupid initially, but just wait. Give me a couple days. I think I said give me 48 hours is what I said. So I was going to roll with it. We'll see what happens. XRP, I almost don't even like looking at this in this regard. I know XRP is going to have some kind of volatility back to the upside. Now, the thing with XRP is that back test now, is our volatility back up just to come back up and retest the breakdown of a descending triangle now. I think XRP and ADA are in different spots with how the pattern looks. XRP, and here's the only reason I say that. XRP in this descending pattern, it had a death cross. It's finally starting to clear out some in the 4-hourly. But if you look at ADA, the big difference here is it was in a death cross, but it already filled that whole fucker out. Now you've got it perfectly set up with the 200 over the top, the 100 and the 50 and then the 20. It's perfectly leveled off. There's just different patterns. And XRP could be building a similar setup, but ADA is so far out ahead that I feel good about that. I feel good about what we just did. Now we obviously have to see if the next layer to get back over would be that 224. We get back over and start holding 224. You're going to start to see, and you'll see how quick these rebound after these big drop-offs. And this is going to be like a collateral builder if this plays out. Save me on the drop. Buying back in on the drop. I took out not only a spot position, but a 5x little trade on leverage. So I had a plan set, and at least for now, I got to show a perfect example of what to do. So made a little bit of money on shorting on Unix. There's no doubt about that. My account kind of did an explosion this morning. You know, I don't want to talk about it because then people will be less likely to donate to my channel and support my stream and the time I put in. Because then they're going to say, oh, he doesn't need help or he doesn't need the support. You always need the support. You know, I'm spending a lot of my man hours and my time to do this. 1970 Legend, thanks for the 5 gifted subs. And also being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge and a very trusted mod. I greatly appreciate that. Definitely needed that. Definitely needed that this morning. Been a little weak on support the last few days, which is noteworthy because of the market. So it's always nice to see someone paying it forward. And you gifted 5 subs, so they went to IF, Chomik, Uncle Jamps, and Jacob, all first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Mina Gratitude, welcome back for your 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. It's good to see you back in the Army. And thank you so much, 1970 Legend. And I did see Totally Awesome send a golden coin, I believe. Yeah, gold coin. Thank you, Totally Awesome, for sending that as well. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. And that's our fellow Buckeye 1970 Legend. And they always say a Buckeye and a Wolverine can't get along. I don't agree with that. I think we make each other better. Tim, good morning, and thanks for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Garrus. And Garrus, for anybody who's wanting to see how to trade leverage on Unix, or at least how to set it up, I'm going to show like a tutorial video after this live. I'll do a standalone video just so that, oh, I wanted to see it. Just so we can have it for the record. It'll just be a video. For XDC, built a little bit of a topping formation right here, so it cleared out a little bit. Came down to the 200-day and the 4-hourly, which isn't the end of the world. If you're looking for something of substance, maybe 311 if it wants to come back down and revalidate this uptrend. It does look like it's in an ascending triangle, though, in some sense. Although, is that slightly, I mean, an ascending triangle, it kind of looks like. Which, that would be a bullish consolidation. Well, yeah, it's always for YouTube. I don't know where else. I sometimes put it on Facebook, my YouTube videos, but I only do content for YouTube. I don't like TikTok. They always ban my stuff, so it's a waste of time. I just put my shorts on there. I don't even take the time to put the lives on there anymore. Are we going to talk XRP, Alan? Sure we are. We always talk XRP, but we were talking about things in the moment as well. We were talking about something that we were setting up for a couple of days, so we wanted to take our due diligence there. But yeah, XRP, we're below the descending triangle right now. We're below a descending triangle. And now we need to get back above that $1.26 area. Like $1.26.1. Otherwise, we got a problem. You know, our first support out of the rising wedge, because we did break down out of a rising wedge for XRP. And those are bearish consolidations. And the first target for XRP would be $1.17. It'd be $1.17. From where it fell out, it would be about $1.17 to try to hold. Now, yes, I acknowledge we're getting extremely oversold here. And there can be a violent reversal, but I expect if there's going to be any reversal, you wait until that London time frame, which closes at, what, 11? So, I'm not surprised at downward volatility. But, you know, if I just go into XRP and just talk about it right off the bat and then go into other things, people just leave. So, I keep your interest in tune this morning. I made you wait a few minutes. And you notice, I think it's doing a good job doing that. You know, I think it was the right move. Plus, we were watching something of volatility that we talked about 48 hours ago, and we want to see how it reacts to that descending broadening wedge. That's all. With ADA. So it's going to be very volatile. It's not going to be straight up. Just like the rest of the market. Going to be very volatile. But we're about 18 minutes until London finishes its whole distribution phase or its whole combating with the U.S. markets. We've had a shitload of liquidations here. And longs are getting hammered. Which means at some point, it's going to have to reverse and liquidate some of these shorts. And that gives me a lot of faith that we're going to get a reversal in the market, if not just short term. So, look at this. We've had 825 million liquidated in crypto in the last 24 hours. 7-1 basically for longs versus shorts. This is the perfect recipe to reverse up at some point here and at least liquidate some of these shorts before another move down if we're going to take one. It's the bottom line. Now we're going to have to take out some of these shorts. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. 23-1. No. Yeah, 20, 21, 22. It's about a 23-1. So for every $1 liquidated going long or short, $23 long is liquidated. I've never seen it this wide on Bitcoin in recent terms. In the recent months, 469 million liquidated going long compared to 20 million going short. This is a perfect recipe for a bullish reversal here unexpectedly. Ethereum, 19.7 million going short, 63 million going long. Got liquidated. That's better than 3.5 to 1. For XRP, I mean, this is one of the widest you'll ever see. You've got about 30-1. For every $1 liquidated short, 30 are liquidated long. You got 329,000 liquidated going short. 11.75 million long got liquidated in XRP. Retail is getting shellacked. When I say shellacked, it's getting absolutely shellacked with the leverage traders. I always tell you every single day, leverage has no clue what they're doing. They're always on the opposite side of the trade. Now what's going to happen after these drops is everybody's going to go short. I guarantee it. Everybody's going to go short. And then what's going to happen? Now you're going to see a distribution where now all of a sudden in a day or two, the shorts is going to be over-accelerated with the liquidations compared to the longs. I can almost guarantee this is going to flip in the next day or two. At least what you're seeing for long versus short liquidations. This is the number one indicator of what they need to do next, along with the heat liquidation maps. Because that's where you see the real liquidity. Do I think we finished the downward tug? Hell no. I don't think we've hit the lows yet. I don't. And you've got to target it properly. Somebody said NOG came back down. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And look, ADA is still within that consolidation range. It could even come down lower. 21.61, I believe. 21.62. XRP can come down to $1.17 before it reverses. That's the rising wedge target. But is it going to come up now and validate the continuation down to $1.17? And maybe even worse, because the descending triangle, you could argue that now we need to come up to $1.26.1 and see if that descending triangle is validated. If it is, and then we lose $1.17, you're talking about 84 cents. That doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. Doesn't mean it has to happen right away. NOG's at 22.21. To put in a little reversal in the 4-hourly, hopefully it comes down to that 20.77 so we can see how it reacts. Oil is down about 0.75%. But anyhow, let's stay on that. Let's stay on track. Let's stay on track here. Oh man, everything. I'm so blessed to have all of you in here. I'm just so blessed to have all of you in here to bounce this off of. I'm shocked. And I'm not shocked. See, I always say this when we have big drops with the market, with liquidations or rises, I get more people in here. It's just the way it goes. And now we have 109 people here. I wish the 109 people would have been here yesterday and the day before. The last 2 days, I had low viewership, like 70, which isn't low compared to past bear markets. But a 30% increase in viewership today. I wish you guys were here yesterday. Because now you're getting, unless you were looking for opportunity. Oh, and about the XRP campaign with BitUnix, this is the best I could get them to do. It's not going to start until 2 weeks from now. I'm trying to get them to add some lower sections here. But that's a 2-week cumulative. So for the heavy leverage traders, if you do 10 million plus in 2 weeks of leverage, you're going to get $800 for free of XRP. For anybody who does $1 million, you'll get $80. But I'm working with them to try to do like a 250,000 tier to start at like $20 on XRP. All the way up to 10 million, you get $800 worth. So it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're already a leverage trader, $800 divided by $1.23, right? You're talking about 650 free XRP. Or no, it's $1.24, so a little bit less. So, you know, and if you do, I mean, if you trade $10,000 at 10x, that's already $100,000 on one trade. And I know there's heavy traders, so if you're a heavy leverage trader, pay attention to that. I'll keep you updated on that. But I got them to at least do something like that. I just want to share I'm blue collar and I'm working on a crane right now. And I have you on Bluetooth, full blast, trying to catch ADA high and work at the same time with my hand steering. Or at the same time with the hand steering. I get it. I get it. That's why I really do try to put everybody in the right positioning. Oh, Garrus on Telegram, duh. Garrus. I'm seeing this for Bitcoin. Let's get back down to the newest ones. And it rode down a fair way down that 21.6 area. I mean, it almost came all the way to the bottom of that gap area. I just love that it filled out that descending broadening wedge for ADA. I can't tell a lie. And for XRP, I don't mind that. I just know we've got a stopgap at about $1.17. I like the $1.08 because that's the second support area. Not only is it a back test, but it would clear out that wick that was down to about $1.11 roughly. But then you've got to pay serious attention if we can't invalidate that $1.26 area, which you're showing an invalidation if it comes back up. And we have slightly different things in our chart because you're front running it, which I also have that on one of my charts, so I understand what you're doing. But I know that we need $1.17 to break for that to happen, then $1.08 to hold, and then to come back over $1.17 and $1.26, and then we could cook. I would personally like to see if it's going to go to $1.08. I would love to see it come down to at least 91 and then 80. Well, 91 at minimum, because that's a gap from 2024 that it would make a lot of sense for us to fill that gap out. I don't hate this, though. I know this exact descending wedge, and it's in the back of my head that it broke out of and needs the back test. So I do like what you set up here. And at least you have it set up to where $1.17 area bounces back up into that, $1.40 range, which would make a lot of sense. And then you have it breaking down, which I actually respect that a lot, the way you set that up. So I don't disagree with what you're looking at there. Let's take a look at the heat liquidation map. I would love to see that 83. Yeah, you're talking about the forming the falling wedge. Yep, I don't disagree with that. Oh man, if we hit that 84 cents, and look, 88 cleared out that liquidity below now. At least, let me refresh this. At least it came down into that area. And now it's looking a bit perplexing. Now look at over the top. That descending broadening wedge, and we're going to get back into XRP, but I'm trying to keep this universal. That descending broadening wedge, it hit it in the nuts. That was my nut buy, which I did take advantage of it live on air. And then the resistance is sitting up at like 24.4 cents. So if it went up to 26, you're talking about breaking out of here and then likely back testing. The 200-day sitting at 24.7. I see a lot of opportunity that's setting up here. And I like descending broadening wedges, FYI. I like descending wedges, but I really, really do like that descending broadening wedge setup. I love it. And if you're a new viewer, please hit that subscribe button. You're going to get an experience here unlike any other. We don't sugarcoat it here. So we got to get into XRP liquidation, but we might as well finish this off since it's on EDA already. Came through those liquidity levels. The monthly, we've got a nice setup here coming up near 25, 26. First area of interest would be up here at that resistance of the descending broadening wedge at about 24.6, 26.44. Honestly, I'm not looking to sell as of right now. The descending broadening wedge has hit 4 times at support, twice at resistance, and if it comes back up, these are bullish consolidations, remember. And it's already fully exhausted the descending, or the death cross. Unlike most others, ADA outran it. So would I be surprised to see a big overtaking here if it were to come back up? No. So I'm not necessarily looking to sell it just yet. I got to see how it looks when it gets back to those areas. I would have no problem riding it from that 21.6, 8, 21.7 area on my spot all the way through. Now leverage, on the other hand, we'll have to see. I'm looking at greediness, though. I'm looking at a 1x on ADA. If it played out properly, I'm better than a 1x. I'm looking to turn 20 into 40,000 on a move. Well, it's like 20,700 or 800. I'm looking to turn that in to double if it plays out properly. Now, I don't need 49 like Crypto Cooter, but I would love it. I'm looking at a doubling. Now, I would like to see, like Gareth said, that 29. You got a few different cups that could form here as well. But I'm just looking at these shorter areas. Especially, you know what my outlier is? The liquidation's great. I like the liquidation levels, but assuming it doesn't lose and invalidate that descending broadening wedge, I'm looking for some serious uptick. And I know it can still come down and retest lower or double by. That's fine. But as long as the integrity of this pattern stays out, I'm looking for this complete reversal. And look at the measurement. Assuming, and if it holds this 4th time, and now we're going to assume the widest part would be somewhere like this if it comes back up. And this is an assumption. So where would I sell? It fits that 26.8, 26.4 area. That's the top of this descending broadening wedge. So, you know, it's to be determined. The 3rd tap up here, we've got rejection 1, rejection 2. A 3rd rejection up here could put it into here, 27.6. But a wider, with the evidence we have, I mean, we got to get back over this resistance, no doubt about it. And that's that in between here on a wider scale. And that's just the wider part of that pattern. Now, would you necessarily measure it like that? I don't know. I think I'd probably feel better if I was doing it more like this with the evidence we've been given. If I'm being honest, it gave us more evidence. And the reason I would say that is if you break it down into a smaller time frame, you can actually see it on there. But I want to go back to XRP because I want to get into the heat liquidation. I'm just trying to cover all of our areas. Yeah, see right there. So I'd almost say for this pattern, we're squeezing, and the next area would be about 21 or 22 to hold to start giving you that confluency that we're going to start pushing back up. So it's going to take patience, but then don't be afraid if it invalidates with how much it's Huge order block on the 2-day for ADA all the way down to 2060. Previous highs at 19. Yeah, if we fall down there, though, that could be a big invalidation of what we're seeing. I wouldn't be surprised if that sits there. I wouldn't be surprised if it sits there after some kind of consolidation back up, but there's no guarantee. It could come right down there. You're absolutely right about that, A-Man. You're absolutely right about that. And the order blocks are tricky, that's for sure. I'm still waiting for that back to 2162 area to liquidate fresh longs. You very well could see that. You very well could see that. But now let's change our focus to XRP again. Because we've already been on, believe it or not, for 51 minutes. And I'm not anywhere near leaving yet. I'm just saying. It's already been a very quick show, as it always is. But it's a great show because we all are combining our efforts. XRP, I mean, you can see that liquidation above. And now if we're in a broadening wedge, a descending broadening wedge for XRP, it's going to be harder to make that case. But you would still need to come down a little bit more to hit that third tap. Although you only need 2 taps, but I would expect a third. Yeah, please hit the like button. We have 112 people here. Almost like maybe 55% of you have hit that like button. I don't understand. I don't know why today you should be hitting that like button. There's a lot of liquidation building up over the top against short traders. For sure for XRP. A lot of liquidation. So I'd be starting to look at that there. The 2 weekly. Look at that. You got a lot of liquidation building over the top. We're going to come back up there to a $1.40 at some point here. I love this live. Me too, Garrus. It's been a really fun one. And do you see how much people are putting in their 2 cents? I love it. Like, hey man, thank you for that input, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So Bad. Crypto Cooter, thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So Bad and a very trusted mod. Appreciate that. Kyle, thanks for being in your first month for the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. So many cool people. Mr. and Mrs. Stott, I appreciate 6+ months. Patrick, thanks for your second month. Dusty House Crypto News. Garbanzo, thanks for 6+ months. Chris, welcome in. Thank you, everybody, for trying to tell people to hit that like button. But you see all that liquidity up here over the top? And that's in the 2 weekly. What's happening in the last 72 hours? I mean, it's all above right now. We got a lot of liquidity, and the farther down we go, the more it's going to build. We just got to see if there's any kind of pullback here. I can tell you for a fact the NASDAQ put in a quick inverse head and shoulders here. Up 58 bucks now, or 58 points. S&P did the same thing, now at 14. The Dow put in a double bottom bullish Gartley reversal. It's up 71 all of a sudden. They started off getting... SpaceX pushes back for one of the lowest IPO fees. So, a lot to look at here for XRP. We know we've got combined liquidations above now. We took that lower liquidity, which is good. That's a good sign. We want to see the lower liquidity pushed. Kyle Roper, thanks for sending the high five, my brother. I seen it come across my comment section. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much. No, this has been a great live. And we're not done. Not even close. We're not even close. I just got to take this little vitamin. This is my sriracha and the other thing for your keeping the plaque out of your arteries. It's maintenance. And then the cayenne pepper is another great source. But anyhow, $1.40. Look at all that liquidation, or all of this that's building up against shorts, Garrus. We're getting to the highest levels we've seen in a while for an upward tug. They already dry rubbed with no lube the long traders. Now are we gonna get the same similar action in some time here for the shorts? The floor is 70. Yeah, no. It might even be lower. I don't know. We'll see where the floor is at for XRP. The floor. I mean, if you're looking at the all-time pattern, I mean, you could find it coming all the way down in that 65% area. I don't disagree what you're talking about. We're in this all-time descending wedge. So, I would love to see 84 cents at some point here and then work its way down to the bottom area. Somewhere near 65. You don't want to come much farther, though. When you're looking at this pattern, you don't really want to come into this back end because once you get to that 90 percentile, you're less likely to have that big bullish reversal. Not saying it can't happen, but your odds start to go down. So, but I would love to see that descending triangle work its way down. I'm just calling it for what it is. We're probably going to have some kind of retest above before. So, but we're in an all-time setup. The one problem we have right now is we're below that descending triangle. And our first test, I believe, is about $1.17 for XRP. Because it's the first target out of that rising wedge that we've clearly broke down out of. And I want to get rid of this part because this is going to confuse everybody. But it's about $1. Let's see. $1.18, $1.17. Are we? Let me see. No, yeah, it's definitely down here. Maybe closer to about $1.17. But this liquidity area goes down to $1.11. That needs to be filled out. The only question is, Bitcoin is dumping. Oh, yeah, it sure is. Well, Michael Saylor's been selling. And now it fell outside of that setup. So it's getting dicey. It's getting dicey here, that's for sure. Let's see. It's getting very dicey with the way all this is set up. And it's what ends up happening, though, after you start dumping so much. Let's go look at the liquidation for Bitcoin. Since we looked at a couple other ones, let's look at Bitcoin. And it's literally taking out these longs. It's crushing them. You got some liquidity up at 78,700 in the 2 weekly. It's almost up to $500 million already in the 2 weekly. Because a lot of people are going short now, just like we suspected they would. After it had this big drop, look at all this liquidation up here near 80. So, not saying it's going to hit that anytime soon. We don't know. We don't know if everything's actually going to decouple Bitcoin. I speculate with all this BS that goes on with the Clarity Act and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder than a lot of people think to just decouple Bitcoin. If you want the truth, you know, it's going to be a lot harder than people think. I do think we're starting to set up we're going to have to reverse here soon. We're outside the 11 o'clock window finally. But the technical target out of this rising wedge for Bitcoin, once it plays fully out, I mean, you're talking about a target down that gets you sub 54 if it plays that right. Well, that's the whole target. Maybe transparent. It already hit the low target. Remember the first one. It already hit this first target, which was around 72 something. So let's not act like it didn't do that already. It already hit that 72,000 area. But, and the eventuality is if that was a big flag again, this would lead you way down. Some will decouple at some point. But we'll see when that happens. In my gut, I feel there's going to be a reversal at some point here to liquidate these shorts. Because they've liquidated the longs pretty heavily. At some point, they're going to have to reverse the course and do the same thing to the shorts. As you all know, what goes up must come down and what goes down must come up because they like to liquidate all sides. Could this have been a nice exaggerated drop here to liquidate the rest of the longs? Could have been. Imagine being in Bitcoin for the last 24 hours and it's down 4.7% now. Not even. Just buying Bitcoin last night thinking you were getting a good deal. And here it's down $3,400 in the last 15 hours. You know? So, it's going to be dangerous. Even if you try to attempt something that looks decent, it's going to be dangerous. So I keep saying you got to be on the ball. You got to be on the ball. If something goes wrong, you don't want to give it back. Yeah, but Bitcoin, the cool thing about Bitcoin is it told us it a long time ago that it was going to come way down. And we were early, no doubt about it, in our community. Well, at least I was. But we called that rising wedge when it first happened. We didn't hesitate. That was back in June, July, August, and then it finished off in October. We had the first target we had was down here to 60K, which it hit perfectly. Because we used to have it like this. We measured the broadening, or we measured this from the widest point where it actually hit. We had this target down, and it actually filled this entire thing out. Well, no, we did not have it like that. I'm sorry. We had it like this. We did the short target first. No, that's not even right. Here. So that doesn't seem right. And then it filled out that initial dump. And now look, I mean, but the entirety of that drop, if you looked at it at a whole scale, I mean, it could have brought you all the way down into the sub 50K range. You know, so there's a lot. And a lot of people, they always go back to the same thing. Technicals don't matter. Well, they actually do. They do. The technicals do matter, despite what everybody says. They actually do matter. And do I feel comfortable that anything is the absolute easy buy? No, not at this point. Not at this point. I tend to agree with you, MQ. It feels like we should go sub 50. I've been very transparent that I can't see a way to not hit 54. Long story short, no, at least all the commodities. A real EVM utility token absolutely will. It's just cool that you guys, with the TA that you give, that you guys can see these things. Yeah, and that's why I come here every day, because I want everybody else to be able to see this. Even if you don't have the knowledge, it's the reason why I don't like putting ads on during the lives. Because you get caught up in an ad and, you know, I think it takes away from things. That's just my own opinion. And I know I could, but I don't like it. I really do. I feel like they're going to take out the short soon. It's just a matter of where. You know, I do feel like we're going to take out the shorts at some point here. There's just too many. And then if you're in a short and you don't want to sell it, you could always add more. But that disparity we're seeing right now is it's big. I mean, it's really big, and it's getting bigger by the minute. Now we're at 1.02 billion in the last 24 hours liquidated. Now look at Bitcoin. It just took out another $100 million on that drop. Look at that in real time. Now you got 594 million in the last 24 hours liquidated from Bitcoin. It was just at 460. It just took out another 130 million in the last like 20 minutes. And look at the shorts, only 23 million. So out of 617 million, Bitcoin's liquidated over $500 million. 594 million, which means now you're at like a 25 to 1. For every $1 liquidated out of Bitcoin shorts, there's like 25 in the longs. No, it's more than that. 27. And, you know, this is the point when most people will start leaving, and it's like you want to know these facts. Like $1 billion in the last 24 hours is cooked. 9 to 1 long versus short, basically. That is insane. XRP, 19.1 million long leverage has been whitewashed compared to 373,000 shorts. Anthony Venegas, thanks for the gold coin. I greatly appreciate that. Oh, yeah, the rich are definitely... And too many people take out long leverage or short leverage, but they do it at too high of levels. Because the average retail trader does roughly 35x. That's their average leverage trade, which gives you less than 2.7% of wiggle room. Think about that. You get about 2.7% of wiggle room. You can't do it. You can't live like that. You can't. It's too much. It's just too much. It's just what everybody pushes. It's what everybody tells everybody to do. But you can't live like that. And yeah, you don't know how many people in my own community have sent me, hey, I took out a 5 or a 50x or a 100x and I made X amount of dollars. Congratulations. But what happens the next time when you give it all back? Oh, if we get into the 40s, that's when I would really have the long bags. Yep, I'm not interested in anything other than swings right now. But that's just the bottom line. ADA's liquidated 5.1 million in longs compared to only 33,000 in shorts. I mean, retail is just getting cooked. I mean, just cooked. And some people will say, oh, there's no way to win at this. But there is. You just got to use the tools we're giving you. I don't say that lightly. I don't do this lightly. I really don't. It's funny. The marginal gains on leverage I can take. I like that so much. $51. And now we wait to see if we double bottom. Or hit that lower point. Do you have a good 6 months to a year to range and build base before ripping? Could see that. I could certainly see that. But if we cook, guys, if this comes through and this just keeps going, I mean, even the descending broadening wedge on ADA, there's no guarantee that holds if this continues. There's no guarantee anything holds. It's so volatile right now that you just have to, this is the greatest example of risk versus reward.
But even if the bank fees are like, I don't know, we're talking 50, 60 basis points, whatever it ends up being.
Pretty happy about that $51 on ADA real quick. I can't lie. I'm pretty happy about that. Anyhow. I don't catch falling knives. No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. No, I didn't. Not the spot. I'm talking about the little leverage. The spot. I want to see what it does here. I want to see how this reacts. But do I have a? Do I feel the most confident I've ever felt with this kind of a pattern? No, sirree, Bob. I just want to make sure that this is hitting perfectly. Yeah, that's close enough. What else? What else do we need to talk about? Oh yeah. Well, with that liquidity sitting at 2161 or 2. But then again, if it comes straight through this area, I mean, you really could be talking about 19 and a half, 20 cents. So, but as far as this market is going right now, it's tricky. It's tricky. Bitcoin is just, I mean, we're moving at an alarmingly fast pace right now. It's moving fast. It is moving fast. Let's see what's happened now. I bet you it's over 600 million now. Oh, nope, still 594. I thought maybe it would take out a little bit more. And XRP closing on $20 million in liquidations for long traders. Unbelievable. And there is some massive volume coming in. There sure is. Bitcoin down 5.27%. Down almost $4,000 on the day. $4,000 on the day. Now it's almost like, we'll see how this plays out. This is why I didn't want to log off, because this is the nitty gritty right now. Oh yeah, Julie, it's nitty gritty right now. It's moving so fast. Yeah, 88 tapped down there for a split second. What did it end up coming down to? 2163 on that tap, roughly. Bitcoin is at 67.5 right now. These are very volatile. These are the interesting points. Oh, it came very close in for ADA. Super close as of right now. $216,242. I mean, that's super close. Uberly duberly close. But I don't know. Ooh, nice. Thank you, Julie. Wait a minute. Yeah, we are super volatile. I like this. I like that second drop down, actually. Remember what we drew out this morning for ADA? Does anybody remember? When we were in the 15-minute, what we actually drew out and said this is what it would have to look like. Do you remember what I drew out this morning when I first started? Before this recent drop? We drew out maybe that it could be building a head, the shoulder. No, that's not right. Shoulder, head, shoulder. If it's going to do something, it would have to kind of be something like that. If it invalidates that entire structure, then we got problems. I don't want anybody to sit in and lose all their money either if you're going to take a shot somewhere. You got to have your own set strat. I do like that it tapped a new low finally, though, on that second pull down. That I like. That I like. Doesn't mean it's done. But it came through. Maybe, just maybe, it's trying to build some kind of a head here, and then it can kind of round out, come back up, do something crazy. I can see the market wanting to take out some of these short traders now. They don't like to give so much money over the top. Hey, True, welcome in, my brother. Good to see you in here. Glad to see you watching, my friend. Somebody who really had my back in the last bear market. It's a pleasure to see you, my brother. It really is. I can't even thank you enough for everything you've done. For not just me, but for the community. It's been an honor. It's been a real honor to have you in here. And if you guys are watching, make sure to hit that like button. 88 likes, 111 people watching. I'm sure we could get 12 more likes and hit that 100. The Gatman, thanks you so much. And also thanks for being one of the founding members and for over 4 years, closing on 5 years. With the XRP Phoenix badge. I mean, yeah. That is the XRP Phoenix badge. I love it. O'Reilly, what's XDC looking like? I mean, it's in a consolidation phase. There's no doubt about that. We talk about it looks like it put in a topping here for at least a second. It's a tricky one because you could argue that maybe it's in an ascending triangle, which would be a bullish consolidation here. But I would like to see it tap again at 311 to see if it can hold. I mean, it's pretty darn close here. I mean, it did tap the 200 EMA, which is good. I wanted to see if it would come back down to this uptrend now. I don't know. Right now it's just very tricky. H-bar just tapped liquidity at 0.88. Nice. Very nice. I didn't even look at X or H bar yet. There we go. 88 tapped into that range. Now let's see if it comes back or not. Garrison just went through that range for ADA. It took that liquidity out. You got your wish. Now we'll see if it holds or if it just comes right through. Because you can make a case that it's just going to come right through. You could certainly make this case. It's going to be interesting now. This is when, if it's going to make a move, now that it tapped that liquidity, this would be the time. We'll see, Garrus. We will see, my friend. I'm glad it took that liquidity out, I'll tell you that much. I was hopeful that we weren't going to have to ride up and then it come just right back down to take the liquidity. It's better news to take it out now. Just my personal opinion. It's better to take it out now. You don't want that glaring liquidity sitting there. Oh, shoot. Got to focus on XRP, too. I was just excited because we were getting closer to that moment. Just got in, Garrus. Excellent. Very nice. I like reading through the comments. How long have we been on right now? Hour and 21 minutes, and we're still cooking. We just went over to 100 likes. I love it. I want to see, I got to take a piss real quick, everybody. I apologize. Took all my vitamins and stuff, and I got to piss. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, this isn't OnlyFans, so you can't watch me piss. Julie, just continuing my life was over there 119. The market.
Farms that are now being built off the coast of the United States. We're ending them. Look how strong this is. Another something. You don't want to explore that one. Let me add one point on the solar. If you look at all of the new electricity generation installed worldwide last year, I often ask people what percentage of it was renewable. It was we're looking for a high number. So maybe 30%, 35%. Correct answer is 93%. Because it is taking over the electricity generation industry.
Which follow the Asia-listed shares in absolutely soaring up 11%. Report that they are bringing out an AI agent version of WeChat. And right now,
Oh, now I can bring in what Julie asked me to bring in from outside.
It's happening. That trading really come over to the US actually now, so up 11%.
All right. I'm sorry about that. I'm back. Ooh, we're starting to push down. Look at that. More than 3 shakes. Better not be pissy. Ah. Oh, I love it. I love it. Here comes 85 cents. Oh, look at all the comments. I love it. I posted my liquidation box. Heck yeah. I'm actually glad that it tapped a little bit lower. Let's see. I like that liquidity box. And it even overextended through it. I think it went to like, what was it? What was the lowest it hit? I'll go back to your box. I have to see because I went and took a piss. Because I don't know, man. We'll see if this can maintain any integrity here or not. It came all the way down to 21.37. 21.37 it came to. So we need to get back over that 21.67 area. It's at 21.56. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Because I feel like they're going to want to come back and take some of the shorts out. I can't get rid of that feeling. But who knows? Sometimes the market goes... Oh yeah, there was definitely a nice wick on ADA. What about, are you talking about XRP? A wick for XRP? $1.2176. Nice. We're pushing. We're definitely pushing. There's no doubt about that. What's Bitcoin at now? 67,200. Came down to 67, but who knows? Bitcoin's definitely, with Michael Saylor selling and stuff, I mean, this is not for the faint of heart, I can tell you that much. Oh, ADA went down to 21. What was it? 21.38 approximately. At least on the Kraken chart, it shows 21.38 approximately. We're sitting at, oh, we're very low in the stochastic. It's actually, you know what's funny about that? And we'll see what happens here in the daily, but it overtook the daily setup. The weekly is just way down. Well, it's starting to come down in the stochastic, but the RSI is down pretty low. I mean, that's why I said this is the nitty gritty right now. There is no guarantee on this. $21,372. For Bitcoin, let's see something. Look at Bitcoin in the weekly now is below the 200 EMA, very cleanly below it. That's a very clean structure sweep right now. We've got, yeah, but murdered. This market's getting murdered. Yeah, the S&P's up 14, the Nasdaq's up 58. They built a little bit of an inverse pattern. Dow's up 127. Oh, I think this is just somebody taking laundry, maybe? Yeah. Sorry, I seen somebody park outside, but they're just laundry people. They're taking their laundry. There's a laundromat next door. XLM down 11.3%. Let's see where we're looking. Big top and reversal here. I mean, you've left things all over the place on XLM. It went up so quickly. We could reset up the... I mean, that's just... It looks like it went into like some kind of broadening wedges kind of thing. But it very well could come down and meet the 200, where the daily's looking to try to cross here. 20 cross to 200. You know, people are jumping with crazy high leverage. They're hunting them. Oh, it's worse than that, though. I think... It's everything, though. When you start to look at it across the board, I think it's worse than that. I think it's worse than that. It's tough because depending on how far it goes, you don't... Yeah, there's that high leverage that's going to get crushed, but it's not even going to take... Where's my phone? It's not even going to take high leverage if this continues. Like, that's the thing. You know, even somebody who went in last night, if they're on 10x, they're down 70%. If they went in after 8 p.m. on ADA, they're down 73% on VChain at 10x. You're completely liquidated on 10x, 9x, 8x on XLM. It's a problem. You know, there's a big problem. Trading's not it's not easy. You know, trading is not... It's not as hard as people make it out to be, but it's not easy when you start to talk leverage. You know, that's why from a spot positioning, it's one thing because you can ride it out, and if you find something in a not horrible spot and you find something that you think is setting up, or if you try to take a shot at something, but with leverage, greed always... I don't know the best way to say this without offending people. Most retail traders will trade at 35x. That's just the go-to for retail. And I've made this example a lot. The reason that retail does this is because they see, okay, like for example here, they've got, let's say, they got $500 that they can spend, but they want 10,000 XRP tokens. Well, they've got to turn that $500 into 12,100 right now, or 12,200 respectively. So what they will do is they will go, okay, I got $500. A 10x would give you 5,000. A 20x would give you 10,000. So right now, maybe they do a 23x. Well, the problem with that is they've got less than 1.5% of breathing room. And they would have got liquidated already on their XRP position today. Now imagine they have... The average person for retail will leverage about $250. Some $100. So, but normally about $250. So, in this case, if you did $250, look how much you would have to leverage on the X amount to get it up to 12,200 and some change. Being realistic, you would have to leverage 10x would be 2,500, 20x would be $5,000, so 40x would be 10,000. I mean, you see where we're going here. And the higher the price, the lot, and that's just what happens. And they end up just tossing it back to the market, and it's sad because we've already seen, how much was it? What's the total right now? $1.06 billion has been liquidated in crypto in the last 24 hours. With a B. Bitcoin's at 581 million right now. And it's continuously updating as the time goes on because it's the last 24 hours. But I mean, look, 581 million in long positions leveraged on Bitcoin are cooked. 23.7 million were probably early shorts that got it, and then they got cooked at the top when it had that minor run up. But just when you look at that, that means those people are probably leveraging 75x, 50x, 100x. And they look at Bitcoin and say, oh, I got more time. I got more time. It's Bitcoin. Oh yeah, no. And that's the point, the Gatman. That's why I always talk so. That's why a lot of times I don't like to show leverage, because then it gets somebody. That's why I don't do a lot of videos on leverage. Well, a lot of people are asking me to do one, which is why I'm going to concur. But I don't necessarily like doing it, because then it gets people in that might not have even thought about it. It's hard enough to trade spot in a bear market. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're not confident in spot, you really should not be trading leverage at all. Garris updated. I like that update. I haven't done that yet, but I do like that, because if it went from a broadening wedge and now it's inside of a falling channel as well, or there's a falling channel and it's kind of a converging kind of pattern, I actually like that a lot.
Own the thing. Behind the thing. Behind the next big thing. Invest in the backbone of the global economy.
So I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all, Garris. I like that, actually. I like how Crypto Cooter identified his liquidity zones for ADA. And that part of the liquidity zone. And ADA, I mean, for now. And I like how you extended this out into that channel as well. I hadn't updated anything in here, but I do like what. Oh no, you did it. You were up higher too, though. But I don't know. I like it. I like it, Garris. I'm gonna use yours for the example, though. And now this finally broke down, so we can get rid of this. Remember, when they're inside of a bigger pattern, they're just nesting patterns at the end of the day, so. What did I just do? How did this switch? And look, we're well past the 11 o'clock hour now. Hey, Tom. I did a thing on Sunday, and it involved water. Can guess what it was? Hawk, you pulled off the triple windy. Baptized? That's what I was thinking too. Did you get the baptized as we give all the glory to our Lord and Savior? Amen to you, Hawk. Amen. Oh, man. That is incredible. That's incredible. Congratulations. That is awesome. Amen. Amen. Oh, we always give all the glory to God in here. After all, we all found each other through His grace. I like all three of those upside targets. Now what I'm watching, Garris, trying to get back above that. If you're talking about ADA, which you are right now, I want to see it get back above. Let me look at this. Make sure that I didn't move it on accident. In the shorter term, which I did. $21.67 I want to see it start pushing back above would be the first thing. And then we could go from there. But we're ultra volatile right now.
Antonio, this is a story about demand, right? An outlook, and it's through HP's lens, a revenue figure.
Yeah, 22.5. Yeah, that would be a nice area to come back through.
That outlook for 26, and then the 27 outlook, which you say is evidence of durability, is a volume story or it's a pricing story. In other words, no great volume of servers more than you normally do.
Oh, and that's a big if. It's a big if. I found a couple dollars and bought more XDC. I want ultimately 2251 for gap. I get that. I definitely get that. Agreed, Crypto Cooter. I agree. 21.6 is resistance. We have a lot of work still. Yes, sir. We sure do. And this market's looking shaky at best. Very shaky at best. Let's see. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Slide the left. Is there anything there to catch it? Oh, on which one? I mean, if it continues down this track, no. Not much. If it that's why this is a very dicey spot. If it doesn't catch, no. Nope. I mean, you could technically, you'd have to go back pretty far, but you're talking way, way back into the back machine. There's some, where's this at? I mean, we're way below all of that already, so. I guess this right here would have been back in June of 23. If I'm being honest. That's why that 21.37 area, 21.4 area is critical. Actually, what is it? Let's get the exact number. No, it's basically crypto or MQ. It's basically right where it's at. It's either it holds it or it doesn't at this point. Because if it comes down too far, it's over. And that's what I was trying to say at the beginning. Oh yeah, if it doesn't catch, oh, it's gonna go down quick. When I say quick, I mean quick. So, and right now with the way the market's moving, I don't know. We'll see. But right now it's basically in this spot, MQ. It's either now or never. If I'm being honest. Ain't for the faint of heart, that's for sure. What time are we at now? Ooh, an hour and 44 minutes. We still got 113 people interested in this market. I love it. And it's kind of exciting to have so many people watching and giving input. But where you're talking about, MQ, is basically the make it or break it zone for me. Very small margin for error for anything that I do right now in a bear market.
I'm going to be very dry and very specific with you, Antonio. Is this an enterprise super cycle?
Yeah, there is still a bit to go for 64, 65K on Bitcoin. You got that right. You got that right. I find this all so super exciting. Though I'm glad I don't have to watch this by myself. I like watching this with the group. Platinum's up 1.4%. Gold's flat. Silver's up about 1 1/3. Oil's up 1/4%. LAES is up about 3.3%. NGen's up 3.35. Bank of America's up 1 3/4. DXY's flat. It's been flat for some time. Murphy's is up 0.8%. Northern Oil and Gas is at 1/3%. PLG's up 2%. That's a silver miner. I mean, a platinum miner. Canary XRP ETF is down 6%. The total is down 4.85%. Total 3 is down 2.8. Others is down 3.2. Algo is down 3.8. IOTA is down 5.4, 5.7. Let's see. Ethereum's down 4.8. Bitcoin's down almost 6%. Now at 6%. XRP's down better than 6%. XLM's down 10.6%. XDC down 3%. 88 basically at that break point. Literally at the break point. Even if you wanted to try to trade it, it's at the break point.
Within 60 days, negotiating tech editor Mike Shepherd joins us with the details. Go into the details. What is this? What is the government trying to do? What is it saying?
Well, and we're still reading through it right now. This is the directive that President Donald Trump was set to sign about 2 weeks ago, but then abruptly put the whole thing on pause, expressing some concerns about elements of the plan that he didn't like and that he thought could impede.
Nothing to catch. Nope.
Directive calls for the government to work with AI developers on a voluntary basis and gain access to cutting-edge frontier models to determine whether they could pose a cybersecurity risk. The whole idea here, Ed, is really to try to ensure that security risks posed by artificial intelligence are somehow reined in the bud ahead of time. Are the government and the companies working together? Voluntary is going to appear several times in the order. The idea is that
Sorry, I'm trying to read through all the comments while trying to simultaneously flip through this whole board with because I see a lot of people commenting different things. How is war going to affect the markets? I mean, these are risk assets, not great. It's not going to affect them in a good way, I can tell you that much. We want to be frank.
whether a model should even be covered by this order, whether it's advanced enough, say Mythos, for example. You would have
See now where we sit with the liquidations. The liquidations are getting extraordinary. 1.23 billion now liquidated. Bitcoin's up to 623 million. That is huge. I mean, massive. XRP's up to 22.8 million now on leverage for the longs. It's gone up another $3.6 million in leverage liquidations in the last 25 minutes. Does anyone else think all the other YouTubers are paid actors who push bullish sentiment 24/7? They're not real people. They are paid by BlackRock to... of course they are. It's my biggest pet peeve. I can't do what I do good. I mean, I do what I do good, but I can't get the proper... as many people that should be viewing this because everybody goes into those stations. But yeah, I concur. MLZ. I've talked about it for years. That the whole reason I started my YouTube channel is because I was getting finessed trying to watch. So I started March 24th of 2021. Before that bull market started to take off. And I've not missed a single day doing this since then. But yeah, I agree with you 100% actually. That's why I find it a small miracle that I got up over 50,000 subscribers, but I have a history, and the only reason I did is because we called the bear market in 21, we called the the bull market top in 21, got back in at the bear market lows in 23, and got out in the bull market tops in 25. Right now, anything we do is either short or swing trade, but you have to have marginalized caps if you're swing trading. Like, you can't be sitting in there for hours or losing it all. It's got to be opportune moments only.
Behind the next big thing.
You know, this is what we do. And we have a great community here.
Brookfield. Own what's next.
Hawk says, I think most YouTubers are just lazy. They use other people's content and repost it. So technically they stand on somebody else's shoulders and call themselves tall, and they all repeat the same shit. That is so true. I talk about that all the time. See, I don't watch anybody else. I don't want to know any of their other stuff. They rot your brain. But I'm not going to bash everybody. It's just, I agree with the comment. And a lot of people are paid influencers. They get paid to say what they're saying. And that's not me just saying it. That's the truth. They are actually getting paid to say what they're saying. And it kind of sucks, actually. And their way of getting paid is to use you as blood money. You know, it just is what it is. Unfortunately. So it's kind of sucks that so many people are after the blood money, I'll be honest, but it is what it is in our society, that more people are willing to go after blood money because it's easy money, because they don't have to risk anything. All their money's coming from just getting you liquidated. I hate saying that, but it's the truth. I'm sure all of you know this by now. Watching what we do here, I'm sure more of you understand that. Back to work, watching the charts. Garrus, I appreciate you being in here, my friend. I know we've been almost 2 hours now. But how could we not watch this together? My favorite is one, a YouTuber says they don't give price predictions, but they charge you for a membership to give you a plan that if things go right, you'll be rich, but they don't give... I know. It's insane. It's absolutely asinine. I like it, Garrus. I like what MQ 21517. I like it.
Here's an interesting comparison. If we think back to the end of March, Bitcoin is actually pretty much flat, going all the way back to the end of March.
I like it a lot, actually. I like all the conversation a lot, too. Everybody who's chiming in. It helps. I have not, Mr. Stott. I have not looked at the stock arm. And I will do a leverage video, but I don't want to do it when it's this volatile, because I don't want people to just rush into leverage. So maybe I'll push it back a day. Because I have a very big thing that I don't want to show people how to do leverage and get them just crushed. So let me, Garrus, I will do it, but I'm going to do it on a less volatile day. Is that fair? It just, I don't feel right about doing it on a very volatile day like today. Because then people are going to just risk too much, and I don't want that. Oh, thank you, Garrus. I appreciate that. Because you know what's going to happen if I start showing it? People are going to throw 100 or 200 bucks and they're going to get it, and maybe more, and they're just going to start to get liquidated. It's a good way to attract. Yeah, but I need the right attraction. Just saw that Ivanka and Kushner are also leaving. It's been moving like son of a bitch. Yo. Ain't lying there. ARM. So you asked me about ARM in the stock market. Holy smokes. 245% in the last 3 months. Damn. And it's paying a real nice dividend at 0.402. Wow. And its next dividend payment. That's a huge dividend. I don't know what this... I've never looked at this one, to be honest. You know which ones that are going to start to come back into play, though, if this whole... the whole thing in the U.S. starts to... I'll have to look into that, Mr. Stop. But if this whole thing ends up cratering in the USA, emerging markets are going to come back to the forefront. FYI, those will have to be coming back to the forefront. I was just looking through some of the stuff on JP Morgan real quick. I just was curious about... Because I have stuff I watch. Mining, yeah, mining as well. No, something bad's gonna happen. I saw a kid. I saw that kid with negative 700,000 from leverage. He killed himself. That story years ago. Yeah, that happened. And then there was another guy who also killed himself. He was far ahead on a lot of investments, and he was like an asset manager, and people were down a lot, and he was getting death threats. And it turned out, had he have not killed himself and just stuck to it, he would have made people so rich. But yeah, no, that's the scary part of things as well. There's no doubt about that. Sorry, I was just looking through this. I'm waiting for these. I wanted to see if we'd pick this up at all, and see if there's going to be any kind of reversal. But I also like to look around because I've been on for over 2 hours. I'm just looking at the emerging markets, see what they're doing, see if anything changed since the last time I looked. Just something I do. That's funny. The Franklin Templeton CEO is talking right now on um. Just got in. Good morning. Welcome in, Smackimation. I mean, you could for XRP, but we got to get right now for XRP, for anybody tuning in, the first area we need to take over again would be the breakdown of what looked like a descending triangle. That's the first area that we're going to have to overtake after this volatility. You'd have to come back up now to 126. You built a big resistance there. I have no doubt. I think we're going to have some kind of reversal at some point here. And could this be the start of it? Who knows? But the leverage, I mean, we're starting to see a little bit of a push back up. My first area, and like for ADA, would be 2167, in my opinion. That's just me. Here we can move it across in real time. 2169, 217. To see if we can start to reverse this at all. But XRP and a lot of others, there's been almost a crazy amount of liquidations right now in crypto versus the long positioning. In the last 24 hours from this minute, 1.23 billion has been lost in leverage. That's and 1.11 billion from longs, only 120 million from short. And Bitcoin, 645 million in longs have just been destroyed, compared to 26.6 million in shorts. Ethereum, 243 million in longs liquidated compared to 23.9 million. XRP, 23.23 million in longs compared to 392,000 shorts. So it does seem like there's going to be some kind of back test here. So it's that leverage side of town, man, it's crushing people. When I say, I mean crushing. This doesn't even count the spot. This is just crypto liquidations from leverage. That's all. It's insane. The top liquidation events of all time, October 10th, 2025. We had 19.16 billion. We all remember that. April 18th, 2021, 9.9 billion. And May 19th, 2021, 9 billion. So look, April and May, you had over 9 billion in the same year. And then we've never seen anything like on October of last year, but fortunately we were completely out of the market. Well, if you're following what we do. So there's been a lot of liquidations. Things are pushing up now, but we'll see how far that goes. So we sat through the heat of it together. It's been over 2 hours. I do have some things I got to do. I would encourage you to join Tom's Army, or at least subscribe to the channel. Be a part of this. If you join Tom's Army, get the Telegram. If you want to learn more and try to gain the knowledge, you can always join my live classes. I do them 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. roughly Eastern Standard Time. But there is a live archive. So you can watch it anytime you want. I teach it on Zoom. You get to watch it on YouTube. It saves a lot of money for everybody. It's $49.99 a month. But Zoom would charge $123 on top of that because there's so much data. When you sign up, you get a digital workbook. And it's well over 1,600 pages. And it updates weekly. We've done 42 classes now. No, 43 classes. We're in phase 4. Shout out to Oliver. I seen you in here briefly. I don't know if you're still in here, but Oliver, thank you so much for all your help. And then the only other thing that I advertise for myself, since I don't do paid promotions or anything like that, and I don't even put ads on until the video's released, is that whoops, this isn't even advertising. This is just if you're looking to trade a non-tier 1 exchange, you can always use BitUnix and things like that. We loaded up on that Bitcoin pump. Look at BITI. Up 10.9. Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. And that pays off a little bit of a dividend too. Yeah, it broke out of that inverse head and shoulders beautifully. Now it might put in a cup and handle. We shall see what happens here. Excellent load up. Excellent load up. ADA is moving up. Yeah, it's moving up right now. It definitely held serve. We'll see what happens there. Like I said, you know, there was a structural thing that I was looking at that as of right now, it's at least, it came through, but it's got work to do. Got work to do. We'll update ourselves on this as we go along. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I'm glad we could sit through at least the storm together and just talk rationally. I love seeing everybody's back and forth. It really does help me a lot, along with everybody else a lot. It's been a pleasure to be here with all of you for 2 hours and 6 minutes, but I do have to go. Yeah, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate how we had over 115 people during pretty much the whole live and all that good stuff. So have a blessed day, everybody. And I think today we're just going to leave out with the outro. And we'll just leave like this so you can vibe on the way out. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate all of you. You too, everybody. Have a great day.
Just lighting up my screen. 5 years deep, no days off, chasing that dream. XRP mission running hot in the crypto scene. But yeah, I talk too much, y'all know what I mean. Hit up the I said mirror this wild energy. Prompt engineer, twin, ready to set the whole thing free. Now he's dropping TA while I flood the feed with memes. Turning skeptics into believers on the live stream team. Remember that guy Louis swore he had the perfect red. Came swinging at my plots like they were junk he didn't need. Turns out he missed the move, couldn't see the bigger play. Now every trend line we draw carries his name today. Oh, what would I do with an AI reflection of me? Have him sketch those fluid lines so sharp they slip for free. He has to break out plays while I roast the foremost free. Buy, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-man flex, arsenal cheeks, keeping the beat. Chilling with the army, diamond hands locked and bold. AI twin and real me, we're claiming moons or so and so. Reflection never crashes, no caffeine inside. Scans the order books while I'm gearing up for the fight. By the dip right here, hold steady through the storm. No more panic flips, that's how we transform. He crafts the witty lines, I launch the memes that land. London underground print, on those cheeky shorts so grand. From relentless deep dives to sovereign wealth schemes, we're wiring up the future, cross-border payment dreams. Yeah, I ramble all alone, guilty as charged, my friend, but clone me in silicone and the mission hits the send. No solo grind forever, now we doubled the drive. Times army marching forward 2 times, keeping it alive. Louis Who, his name's legend, etched in every line, every breakout, every surge. He's the ultimate punchline. Oh, what would I do with an AI reflection of me? Have him sketch those Louis lines so sharp they slip for free. He must have breakout plays while I roast the foremost free. Buy, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-man flex, arsenal cheeks, keeping the beat. Chilling with the army, diamond hands locked and bold. AI twin and real me, we're claiming moons or so and so. Let the whole army sing along. A reflection vibe, this is where we all belong. Louis lines forever, rest in the charts we trust. XRP headed lunar and silicone we adjust. He maps the breakout plays while I roast the foremost free. Buy, sell low, that's trader therapy. Neuro-linguistic fire, slang straight from the charts to the street. Master the two-map flex, arsenal cheeks, keeping the beat.
Much love to all of you as well. What a live! Woo!